Class of 2027 edge rusher out of the state of Georgia, LaDamion Guyton, already 6'3", 225. He received offers from more than 20 schools, including some of the top programs in the country like Georgia, Alabama, Auburn, Florida, and Texas Tech. It is time for his decision. For more on that, we welcome in our good friend Tom Loy from 24/7. You've been following his story for quite some time now. It appears, rumor has it, it's kind of between Georgia and Texas Tech. What can you tell us so far?
Yeah, there's a ton of schools in the mix, and this kid honestly could have gone anywhere. LaDamion is one of the most talented prospects in the class of 2027, an elite edge rusher. This is a guy who's got day one potential to make a huge impact. So, yes, there's a ton of buzz about Texas Tech. There's been a lot of buzz about Georgia for a very long time, Tennessee, South Carolina, so it's really close. But, hey, let's not wait for it anymore. Let's go live to LaDamion Guyton and his commitment, one of the top players in the country. LaDamion, it is time for you to make your decision. But before we get to it, how does it feel to finally be here on commitment day?
It's been a long time coming, and I'm very blessed by God to be in this position that I never thought I'd have a chance to be a part of. I was ready to get it over with and start building communication with my new school.
No doubt. I know that's a packed house there in Georgia. Who all is there with you, sharing in on this special day with you?
Mostly family, but I got some close people up on stage with me. That's really it.
I want to talk about your finalists. I know Amanda brought them up to everybody, but first I want to mention Georgia. What is it you like so much about the Bulldogs?
Georgia, the family feel. When I go down there, I never feel like I'm out of place, and they make it very clear they want me to be a part of their team.
With South Carolina, what do you like about the Gamecocks?
They bring energy. You know, Coach Beamer, his energy is contagious throughout the building. They go down to his assistant coaches and his players, so you can feel the energy in the building as soon as you step in.
How about Tennessee? What stands out about the Volunteers?
I haven't had a chance to visit Tennessee, but they've been keeping close communication with my mom and me, so they're very consistent, and I like that.
And lastly, Texas Tech. What do you like so much about the Red Raiders?
The consistency within the coaching staff. They make sure that they try to get on to me every day. Within the position coach, they got a good position coach, Coach IU. He has a plan how I'm going to get better every day, and I really like that.
LaDamion Guyton, the number 4 overall player in the class of 2027. The moment is here. Time to tell everybody where you will be continuing your academic and athletic career.
I got you. I want to start by thanking everybody that came. I appreciate all of y'all. I want to thank God as well, because this would not be possible without him. And this has been a hard decision, but it's time. So I'm not trying to play around. Just go ahead and let y'all know. For my college, I would play college football. University, and Texas Tech.
Incredible win for Texas Tech. This was a tough one down the stretch. LaDamion, I hope you have me here, but in the end, what was it for the Red Raiders that tipped the scales for them?
It was the consistency, the family feel, and I just feel like I can start a great thing at the program that I'm ready to be a part of it. Go Raiders.
And then lastly, for all the Texas Tech fans out there, tell them what they are getting in LaDamion Guyton, the player, but also the person.
You're going to get a player that is going to be around the football. I'm going to give my full effort. And off the field, I'm going to be involved with the fans, the students. I like to be involved. So I feel like I'm going to be a great addition to the team, and I'm not going to cause no problems.
There you have it, an elite edge rusher in LaDamion Guyton headed to Texas Tech. Thank you so much for doing that here with CBS Sports, College Football, and 24/7 Sports. Amanda, back to you in the studio.
All right, Tom, huge win for Texas Tech there in the Red Raiders out in Lubbock. By the way, use the code COMMIT65 to get 65% off a 24/7 Sports VIP subscription. You can plug the latest intel before the season begins. It is just around the corner. Be a part of this message boards and much more. Again, the code is COMMIT65. So Texas Tech, how about a win for the Red Raiders and head coach Joey McGuire out there in Lubbock, getting the #4 player in the class of 2027, LaDamion Guyton out of Georgia, edge rusher, 6'3", 225. You know, he's just going to add some pounds onto that already. Impressive frame, impressive numbers that we've seen from him so far. So let's welcome in Shahan Jayaraja, also Danny Cannell here. We really just kind of want to talk about Texas Tech in general, though. Shahan, you have an amazing article on CBSSports.com, and it's like reading a Western novel about football with Billy Bob Thornton maybe somewhere in the mix. But basically, it gets down to Texas Tech billionaires in football. What's going on out there right now?
Yeah, it's a fascinating story. And, you know, to really understand it, you got to go back to July of 2024 when Cody Campbell, their top billionaire booster, sat in a room and challenged their athletic director and challenged their football staff. We want to be ready for the new era. Of course, they were able to do it in the transfer portal with the class that they brought in, ranking #2 in the country. But now they're setting their sights on future recruiting. You see, in the class of 2026, they previously added Felix Ojo, a 5-star offensive tackle. Now they add Guyton. Now they've been as aggressive as anybody in identifying players who are fits for them and adding them to their recruiting class. And they do it, yes, of course, through financial means, but also through being really early, by building relationships very early on, by having connections with players and with staffs. And ultimately, look, they don't want this to be a one-year roster in 2025. They see guys like Felix Ojo and LaDamion Guyton as being building blocks for their roster, not just now, but heading forward.
Danny, this is the house that built Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, very different position from Guyton here. But just what Shahan is talking about, I mean, with this, you know, and excel in recruiting, how much do you think we could see the Red Raiders improve over the next couple seasons?
College football has always been a spending race. Like, I mean, look at the teams that have won the national championship, and you can go back years. And whether it was above board or below the table with bagmen and bags of cash, like where the most talent resides are the teams that typically were in the hunt for the national championship. And now that it's all out in the open, this has given Texas Tech an advantage to be able to compete with those schools that traditionally they weren't able to. I go back to a team like Oklahoma State when T. Boone Pickens was still alive and he was funding a lot of the development of the program. All of a sudden, they're right on the cusp of a potential national championship game. The Oregon Ducks with Phil Knight, they all of a sudden have the Nike money, they have the uniforms, they have these insane facilities. All of a sudden they're creeping up the, you know, recruiting boards, and they've got a great program that all of a sudden is, you know, is perennially contending for that elusive national championship. I think that's the expectation for Texas Tech, and with the amount of players they're getting in the portal and now with recruiting, I think that's the expectation that it should be, especially when they're competing against other schools in the Big Ten that really are at a disadvantage compared to Texas Tech within the conference. Like the SEC and Big Ten, they've got deep pockets with a lot of traditional history and big booster departments, and most importantly, more TV money coming their way. Texas Tech should have a significant edge against most of the teams in the Big 12.
Yeah, and shout out to their head coach, Joey McGuire. Look, I mean, he's been in Lubbock since 2022. He's only been a college football coach, though, for 8 years now. That is all. Big-time high school football coach there in Texas, but moving over to the college ranks. All right, so let's take a look at Texas Tech in their schedule. They finished 8-5 last season. Obviously did make it to a bowl game there. The favorites to win the Big 12 is Kansas State right now, excuse me. They do play K-State on November 1st. Danny, how do you think the Red Raiders will fare? Excuse me.
They better fare pretty well, Amanda, and that's kind of crazy because I like Joe McGuire a lot, but I think the amount of exposure and attention their spending spree has gotten and the type of roster that they built, I do think he's under pressure, which is typically where you see coaches at, you know, programs that like an LSU where Brian Kelly's making a ton of money, but if he doesn't win the national championship or get to the playoffs, he could be on the hot seat. I think that's kind of the same bar. The expectation for Joey McGuire is in a wide open Big 12 where, again, you've got got this advantage of one of the better rosters in the conference that you should be in the playoffs. You should be at least in Arlington in that Big 12 championship game. And that's my expectation for them too. The one thing that concerns me is you mentioned that one game against Kansas State, who's the pick to potentially win it. They also have road games at Utah and on the road at Arizona State, last year's Big 12 champion. So the schedule is tricky with 3 really tough road games against the other top teams in the Big 12. But they should be able to run the rest of the table and be in that conversation in November.
Yeah, and I want to correct myself. I said K-State was the favorite. They're actually tied, all at plus 550, Kansas State, Texas Tech, and Arizona State. So as you mentioned, Danny, it is absolutely wide open in the Big 12 this season. Danny, Shahan, we appreciate it.
Well, in the SEC, Texas is the favorite. And, in fact, they're favored to win the national championship as well. But what did Grandpop Archie say about Arch and his future at Texas? And how did that impact the betting markets? That's next.
Here we go. The 2025 CBS Sports NFL schedule is here. 18 glorious Sundays.
He's got his receiver touchdown.
Filled with rematches.
Oh, the play of the year.
And rivalries.
Touchdown, Bengals.
Plus, plenty of superstar shows.